Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome to the 1.0 release of Tangledeep. I played a bit of Tangledeep on the channel a few months ago, and I thought what there was at that time in early access was already a pretty great roguelike. But today, the 1.0 patch dropped like seriously 20 minutes ago, and I'm very excited. We're just going to start a new file and get right into this. This is a roguelike. It's got a very like Super Nintendo aesthetic. For untold generations, my people have lived deep within the earth, surrounded by verdant subterranean forests, sparkling waters, and crystalline luminance. We all have a special connection to this world, a bond with nature we call the touch. Some are born with an abundance of touch, which fills them with a sense of adventure, an urge to explore the wilds beyond our home. All with the touch inherit the appearance of animals. And sometimes, when we fully experience the touch, we are drawn to Tangledeep, an ever-changing labyrinth that leads upward to a world that no one has ever seen. I have never felt the touch, unlike many others in my home of Riverstone Camp. Yet there is so much I want to learn about Tangledeep. Today I have decided. I will go there and find my own answers. So we're going to be playing on heroic mode, because this is the intended way to experience Tangledeep. So, we're going to pick a class here. At the beginning of the game, we'll just have a couple of abilities, but we'll gain job points by fighting monsters and stuff, and over time we'll be able to learn more and more abilities. As we learn more abilities, we'll gain tier bonuses, and all that stuff is well and good, but the place where this game is really cool mechanically is that you can change your class at any time. And you can learn skills from your new class, and you can combine those with the skills you already learned from your old class. So every run is about sort of like building your own weird hybrid character out of the tools that you're given. I think it's very compelling. Interestingly, not all of the classes are available at the beginning, which is not the way things used to be. And there's one here that I've never seen before. This is a new one since I last played. The Edge Thane. Obviously, we're doing this because this is the one I haven't seen. A stalwart warrior who combines flow and song to infuse power and overcome enemies. So, just have a quick look at these abilities. So, I mean, we know we're picking it. Let's just pick it. We'll have a quick look at the abilities in the game. Oh, apparently my caps lock is on, so holding shift just makes it whatever. That's fine. Oh, there's feats to unlock as well. So, we get 2 feats here. We could just take random, but I found the game to be quite difficult playing on heroic, so I think I really liked Thirst Quencher. Healing more when you use your flask is very, very important. Extra job points is cool. Obviously, the quicker you can level up and gain more skills, the more powerful you'll be and the easier you'll find things. But also, I was finding that I was running out of stuff to spend job points on before reaching the end of the dungeon, so I wonder if this is maybe a little wasteful. Well, let's think monsters are less aggressive toward you. The way that I died the most was getting swarmed, so pulling stuff from less far away seems like a good way to go. And it really has been, it's been quite some time since I played, so a lot of things might be different. I grew up listening to tales of legendary heroes. I learned that glory comes only through adversity. In my odyssey into Tangledeep, I will overcome every challenge. Today, I will sing the songs of my own adventure. I believe that these are class-specific, so we got that one because we're the Edge Thane, and we've got some weird song mechanics. Let's pop in here. Wow, they've done some work on these menus. Everything looks really nice. Alright, job stuff. So we have the Song of Endurance. Begin performing the Song of Endurance, bolstering defensive attributes. Extend and intensify the performance by taking or dealing damage and blocking and parrying. Only one song may be active at once, but switching songs maintains your song level and takes no CT. Okay, so we pick a song and then probably like an active ability. Well, this one makes you hit harder, and this one makes you not get hit as hard. You know what I like is defeating enemies. That is a cute animation. You have 150 JP left, which is enough to earn one more of these starting abilities. So a charge forward in a line for a distance based on your song level, and buffs your next attack based on your song level. Okay. Or adds the verse of suppression to your current song, randomly inflicting paralysis, root, or sealed on nearby enemies. I imagine sealed probably means like silence, so you can't use abilities. I think we'll go charge. As you can tell, I tend to be fairly offense-focused, which is maybe why I always die. So we have some stats here. Strength, which is, as you might imagine, melee power, and physical resistance. Swiftness is ranged power, crit damage, and CT gain. We'll talk about CT in a second. Spirit, your attunement to flow and your own inner key. Alright, we'll worry about the rest, but the point is, we're looking for gear that has strength on it, because strength is both the ability to hit stuff and the ability to take hits from early enemies. We'll see a lot more physical damage in the early going, and elemental damage will become more common as we get higher up. Okay. So this down here is our CT bar, our charge time. Every time we do anything, we gain charge time. When we hit 100%, when we hit 100 units of charge time, we get a free turn. The game is turn-based, pretty old-school roguelike style. So there are definitely builds you can make that are focused on generating lots of charge time so that you're getting a free action much more frequently. I suspect this is not going to be one of those runs. And we have a sword. Each weapon type has its own unique stuff, in addition to sort of a Diablo-style loot thing where you're getting, weapons with lots of random suffixes and prefixes. Each weapon type does special things. So swords have a higher chance to parry and can riposte after parrying, and when they crit, you get an auto parry charge, which is cool. And hey, food. We're going to need all of this. So over here we have Aaron, the quest giver. Tangledeep has as many tales as leaves and branches. Legends stand tall like ancient trees, but they're grounded in winding roots and countless stories. Would you like to make some stories of your own? Yeah, tell me some stuff. I have a challenge for you. Defeat 3 salamanders using the power of physical. Well, physical is the only power we have right now. We will get some restorative items and some XP and a cool piece of armor. The XP is really the most important part of that at the beginning. We can probably take... It used to be we could take up to 3. Defeat an overgrown grotto flyer in Cedar Caverns, the 2nd floor. Running shoes of treasures and some gold. I much prefer the quests that give XP and job points over the ones that give gold. Defeat Dread, the mold-infested vermin. So there are champions, It's got a lot of the sort of the basic roguelike stuff in it. Dread, the mold-infested vermin, who will be a champion vermin who has some fancy extra abilities on the 2nd floor. Alright, seems straightforward. This guy is our job-changing guy. He will also give us healing. And what is a blessing? Is this... Okay, these are new. I'm not going to worry about this right now. Also, over here we have the food vendor. Do I have any money? I have 100 gold, which is enough to buy basically nothing. Alright, we'll find food in the dungeon. Here's our gear vendor, Katie Twinkles. She's very excited about everything, all the time. She kind of speaks in rhyme sometimes as well. That's not what I meant. Listen, it's not that I don't love hearing from you, I just want to see the menu. Okay, here we go. So, Katars, I think are... I don't think there were Katars before. Like I said, it has been a while. The rest of this looks pretty familiar to me, so she'll have some okay stuff occasionally. We'll check in here every time we come back to town. And over here we have the weapon mastery guy. So we can talk to this guy to exchange job points earned for special passive abilities that are relevant to our weapon type. There's another screen of town down there. We'll go down there when we have some stuff to do. Let's get into the dungeon for now. Today's the big a day. I'm so excited for you. Have you spoken to Aaron at the camp? Yeah, I spoke to Aaron. I've heard some rumors myself, things I couldn't quite believe. Everyone knows about the monsters and ruffians hanging out just ahead in the Follies, but beyond that, everything is shrouded in mystery. People have brought back powerful ancient gear, and there's stories of ruined old cities, valleys made of fungus, and metal that lives. If even half of that is true, well, you're in for some adventure, that's for sure. The greatest treasure of all is knowledge. What's up there? What's at the end? Is there even an end? There's so much we don't know about where we came from. Your heroism will help us all. It used to be the case that you could talk to her before going to the dungeon for the first time and she would give you stuff. No. Okay, that's fine. You know what? Sure. We'll play the 2 tutorial floors. This is something I haven't seen before. Tangledeep is turn-based, so monsters only move when you do. I do appreciate that. It's pretty straightforward. We have our combat log down there. You can see kill a monster, get XP and job points and gold. And sometimes they drop pickups. So down at the bottom of the screen here, you can see we have stamina and energy. These are our 2 ability cost resources. Some things cost stamina, some things cost energy. And when monsters die, sometimes they'll drop a pickup that will give you a burst of stamina or energy. Well, we probably don't want to stand in the big fire. It's a salamander, so of course they shoot fire at you. You have enough JP to earn a new skill. Yeah, we'll get some spectacles, which I imagine auto-equipped. Yeah. So we have a couple of equipment slots. I mean, if you've seen an RPG before, or roguelike, really, you've seen this stuff. Move diet? Yes. I, in fact, have already rebound my my keys so that I have access to dedicated diagonal keys. And here is a breakable thing, secret area. Okay, some garnets. So gemstones are just for selling, as far as I know. You know what? They might have added some kind of crafting. I have no idea. The enemies down here on these levels would be pretty straightforward. A damaged slingshot. Well, you know, a ranged attack is a ranged attack. Oh, the moss jelly scooped up a... I should read the whole line instead of just the look for one word that is yellow. Hey, give me that slingshot. Alright. So we have a couple of weapon slots here. We can swap between these for free. I believe going into your inventory and messing with your stuff costs a turn, but you can swap between the items that are in your quick slots without spending a turn. We're just going to take it kind of easy and slow. First of all, because a lot of the vibe in this game, especially at the beginning, is pretty chilled out, and that's just it's just pleasant to play. And also because I only kind of remember what I'm doing. Okay, I should probably be using my abilities more often. Also, down here we have our healing flask. The healing flask is your main source of healing. Every once in a while you'll find one of these fountains, which will add 2 charges. There is a finite amount of flask usage on every run. You know, you don't find a fountain that just infinitely refills your flask, and there's a limited amount of food. So any damage you take is bad, basically. And we do have to think defensively in that sense. The fact that there is finite hit points available means we have to play carefully. It's another reason that it's good to take it slow. Here in the early game, I'm not going to stress about it too much, especially here on the first run. You know what? We should be performing our songs and whatnot. 18% bonus damage. Okay, some caltrops. That's nice. You do get 1 free full heal when you level up. You don't heal immediately, but once per level you can go back to town and talk to the frog guy and he will heal you to full. So that's another part of the reason I'm not worried about our health too much, is because we're going to hit level 2 pretty soon. So we have enough job points to learn a thing. 162. So we can pick up one of the abilities that we had access to before. But let's look at what else we have available. A song that enhances other abilities. Okay, so it increases your spirit power. Spirit power is usually the stat that the damage of spells scales with, so this would be a good song to take if we intend to change jobs into more of a spellcasting thing. Verse of challenges. Enemies targeted will become more aggressive and will increase our damage and defense each time they hit you. Okay, that's interesting. So that's a good, like, fighting difficult bosses, things that have a lot of health type verse. Adds the verse of elements to your current song, reducing elemental resistances of adjacent enemies each turn. So again, probably this is mostly good for spellcasting, but you can find weapons that do elemental damage. Form a wide slashing attack that ends your current song, growing in range and power based on your song's intensity. Okay, I would like this. I would like some more active stuff. A passive, when defeating an enemy that is not worthless, your active song jumps up a level. Worthless means considerably lower level than you. When we mouse over an enemy, it'll show you, like, this guy's really tough, or this guy is about an equal challenge. So, this just means you can't farm this up on garbage enemies. While using a two-handed melee weapon, weapon power and accuracy are increased by 10%, and crit and parry chance are increased by 5. So we have 4 support slots, 4 slots in which we can put good passive abilities. And then we have 16 active slots. And that may sound like a lot, but we will run out of space. We will eventually have to make some hard choices based on the fact that we are out of slots. And you're just going to have to trust me on that for now. Alright, I'm not gonna spend my job points. We're gonna save up until we can get that fancy slash. Also, when you level up, you do immediately get full stamina and energy. Let's do our charge here. Oh, it charges forward, but it doesn't attack. It just buffs your next attack based on your current song level, so not at all if you're not currently singing. Alright. You know, I saw charge, and I just kind of assumed it would end with an attack, because that is the case in a lot of games. Alright, you. You need to heal up. I have 107 hit points left. I'm fine. Walking through water is not great for your stamina. Yeah, look out for different terrain, which have different positive and negative effects. Water allows you to more easily dodge ranged attacks and empowers lightning. Lava hurts you, obviously, not great. Mud roots you in place. Certain terrain may enhance or decrease elemental damage. Check the ground before you move. It looks like they actually took out the thing where walking through deep water lowers your stamina. That's fair. It was not a great thing. It meant that certain classes were way more punished by streams and stuff, so. Okay, so our Song of Might now has the ability to strike fear into people's hearts. I don't know, maybe I should heal. We're pretty close to leveling up, though. We can just go back to town and take our free heal when we do. Honestly, we might be able to take a free heal now. We might get one for being level 1. So this, unfortunately, can't charge directly at this slime. He's not lined up with us very well. Okay, so it's going to give us 10% attack strength per level of song that we have. That's pretty cool. So we've reached level 2, all of our stats have grown, and we get to gain an additional +3 to a stat of our choice. We're going to take strength, obviously. So part of the idea of, healing to full does happen when you level up. I might be misremembering that didn't happen before, or it might be a change. It's hard to say. Okay, so we gotta work to maintain our song level, which means I have to pay attention. I'm always best with the classes that have a lot of passive abilities, because paying attention is not a thing I'm super great at. Where's my map? Okay, this looks fairly thorough. Yeah, we've seen the whole thing now. Oh, there's a sparkle here. Sturdy boots. Okay, I'll take boots. Alright, so now we're in the actual game, out of the tutorial. Can I wonder if there's a way to change the size of the map. Because I like it being on, but it's currently a little bit large for my taste. Also, how many job points are we away from that thing? I didn't actually look at the cost. It costs 350. Okay, we're not that far. Alright, so we should try to keep our song active. It has an energy cost, and a fairly hefty one, since max energy is 100. So I guess maybe we don't want to run it all the time. 25% chance to knock an enemy back 1 tile, plus 15 power. So every weapon has weapon power, which is combined with your relevant stat to determine how much damage you'll deal when you attack with it. I don't, what's our sword at? 176? Oh, because our sword's a two-handed weapon, right? Yeah, we'll stick with our sword for now. So this is a roguelike, and it is run-based. There's a chest in town that we can store stuff in so that our characters from future runs will have access to it. So I might do that with this. Although, actually, it's probably low enough quality that we'll find lots of better stuff. And I'm really digging, like, even just the way the mist text animates is really nice. Oh, nice. Okay, energy. We are a class that cares about our energy. So the things that synergize between classes, things you have to be paying attention to. You want abilities that use energy and abilities that use stamina so that you're not pulling from the same pool all the time. You want classes that are going to enjoy the same stats, because when you change jobs, you don't get to rebuild your stats. The stats that you've taken on level up are a permanent concern. So if we're going to take a bunch of points of strength here, which we are, then we want to be thinking about eventually swapping into another class that will really benefit from having high strength. Which is to say, probably not a casting-based class. We'll see how things work out. I'm getting poisoned. Alright. I am, in fact, going to hit the Flask. So the Flask is not instant healing. It takes a couple of turns, but it really heals you quite a bit. A Club of Insect Slaying. Ooh, wow, the Song of Might gets really, really good when it's leveled up. Okay, so I'm starting to see the value of this thing. Being able to pump your song up quickly in an area where there's lots of enemies seems really valuable. Let's make sure we don't forget to grab this, because like I said, we have a finite number of flask usages over the course of the game. You really, really don't want to miss any. Okay, this is just a better sword. Your starting weapon is usually like low quality, worse than a basic white. And of course the weapon qualities are probably pretty familiar to anybody who is... Oh, we got a crit, so we have a parry stored up for the next time somebody attacks us. Does that have a duration? No, it's just next time. Yeah, swords are good defensive weapons. A lot of the other weapon types are better at actually killing enemies. In particular, I really like axes, which attack in an area. And of course, any weapon that lets you attack at range, like an apprentice's staff, can be very useful. Although the apprentice's staff doesn't scale with strength, as you might imagine, so not totally ideal for us. Well, it seems like we'll go upstairs here, and this is the place where most of our quests are. This is, hey, look, it's that guy. I really appreciate... This is your quest monster. So we don't have enough job points to get... No, not yet. We're actually pretty close. Let's just charge right over to him. He's pretty tough. He's actually hitting us really hard. I wish I had more abilities right now. Yeah, we're beating him. We're taking a lot of damage, but we'll win this if we just keep fighting. So you can see he has the turtling trait, which means that he generates shields that protect him from attacks from certain sides. Positioning is pretty important in this game. Okay. 92 XP was enough to push us over the next level, and that's a fair amount of gold as well. We'll check out the loot in a second here. We gotta finish fighting these guys. So do the songs only have 3 levels? I wonder if we've capped our song for now. Okay, a cloth quiver of treasures and a holy symbol. This goes into an accessory slot. We already have on spectacles and boots. Boots let you step through mud with no chance of it stopping you. Spectacles are giving us guile and swiftness, which I don't think are terribly important stats for us. Guile's crit chance. Also dagger damage. And parry chance, yeah. Actually, guile is fairly relevant. Swiftness doesn't do too much for us. Well, it is crit damage as well. I was just thinking that it's nice to have a holy symbol because it gives you a chance to heal a little bit when hit. And like I said, most sources of healing are finite. So we'll take this over the boots. Yeah. It's just explaining to us that thing I said earlier. And we don't need these pickups, so we're not going to get them. They don't last forever on the ground. But who knows, we might... It wasn't impossible that we could have spent some energy and still been able to go back and get those. So I really like characters who have charges because there's a lot of these Quilkins early on, and as you can see, they can actually hit pretty hard. Getting outranged by enemies is the most frustrating thing. Alright, so we killed that guy with a crit. We have a parry saved up. I'm pretty sure you parry ranged attacks. Like, we go over here to fight this Quilkin. I think we would parry his first ranged attack. I guess we'll find out. Yeah, every time you step in mud, there's a chance for you to be rooted for a turn. And it's a fairly high chance. Alright, split mail of treasures. Hey, what does of treasures mean exactly? Plus 5% magic item find chance. Okay, so you can see 11% physical resistance and minus 2 damage from physical. I assume that the flat minus damage is applied first, but the heavier armor is louder, which means that it will aggro. You will aggro monsters from further away, anyway, while wearing it. And we found an evasion enhanced champion dude. Plus, we have this turtling grotto flyer over here. Let's get our song up. I think we're about to have a big fight. Actually, we probably have... Yeah, we have the job points to learn Furious Crescendo. Let's do that. A wide slashing attack that grows in range and power based on your current song's intensity. There's 110% of weapon damage plus 35% per song level. And it also costs energy, so we really would like some non-energy based abilities. Well, okay. That's not ideal. We can't move a single space to get out of that, but we can charge out, and now we have buffed up attack. We can probably take this guy down in 2 hits. Yeah, we'll go after our quest monster in a second. Okay, bandages are always welcome. So how many turns do we have left? 2. I'm going to take 1 swing, and then we're going to spend this, because we currently have... Oh, I guess it must have procced again. No, we have 3 turns. Alright, we'll attack. He poisoned us. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Now our song... I guess our song just keeps refreshing as long as we keep using it. But at level 3, let's try this crescendo out. So actually, wow, at level 3, it's extremely large. The damage is nothing to write home about, but ranged attacks are always good. Okay, once again, he is turtled incorrectly. Stop running, you coward. Alright, running shoes of treasures, plus, of course, champions drop loot. Alright, let's reassess our situation here. We got some loot there. Plus 2 CT per step, plus 2 core stats, plus 5% magic item chance. Well, obviously we're taking that. Probably over the spectacles. We lose a little bit of guile and swiftness in exchange for a little bit of strength. And of course, the other stuff that this does. And we're not terribly far from the level. I'm debating whether I want to use a flask charge. Probably should have put up my song before charging. So the charge is stamina, crescendo, and the song are energy. You are very annoying. Unfortunately, if we're not careful about the angle that we approach them from, our charge isn't really going to help very much. Well, let's see if it's still the case that we get 1 free heal in town per level. So here's the way out to the Cedar Caverns. Also, you know what else I want to check real quick is... What was our other quest? Oh, we accomplished it, I guess. Okay, this is nice. Really easy to see all the information about the monsters we've encountered already. Maybe I'm being too stingy, but I really don't want to spend a flask charge or any food. We can probably take these guys out at 79 health. I think we should be okay. Yeah, we're fine. I was thinking about healing there. So are we pretty clear on the map then? Nope. I have no interest in fighting. Okay, so I think this would be a good time to go back to town for the first time. So you hit this button, and then you have to expend 12 turns. We're just gonna wait in place here. And head back to town. So you can't use the portal as an immediate escape from combat. Alright, we've collected several ingredients. Why not try cooking? Yeah, by combining ingredients, you create meals with powerful beneficial effects, and you can find seasoning for extra bonuses. You can sometimes just learn recipes, like there are characters you can encounter in the dungeon who will tell you recipes. We're going to discover a couple through experimentation here. So first of all, Turtle Guy. Yep, okay. So you get one cheap heal. It's not free. One cheap heal per level, and then it's more expensive until you gain your next level. You can also spend job points to heal now. That's really interesting. Because like I said, I was finding myself running out of stuff to spend job points on eventually, before the runs would end. So that's an interesting way to use the surplus. Right. What do you got for me now? Beat 3 mold-infested vermin with physical attacks. Easy enough. Delight the fruit cobbler loving moss jelly. Sure, why wouldn't I do that? So if we find this thing and we give it a fruit cobbler, we like leave it on the ground and then walk away, the thing will run over and grab it, and then we'll get 43 job points, which is something I want. So we'll try this. We have to get a fruit cobbler first, obviously. Now, the vines have been quiet. Okay. No new quests are available for us. So... Hey, Nando. Do you have fruit cobbler? No. He doesn't even have any fruit for sale. We have 1,000 gold. I'm definitely going to buy these. So there are a lot of like throwable potion type items. I found Lightning Brew to be very, very useful. Unstable concoctions are just random potion, basically. I'm not totally in love with that. I think we'll save our money for now. Sell all of our unequipped commons. Alright, building up a little bank. You can see this guy up here is the keeper of the chest, the bank, where you can store stuff for other characters. It costs money to deposit things, though. We probably won't bother. Yeah, we'll just hold on to our items. Alright, let's check out this. So, fruit cobbler. I mean, we could probably just combine 2 apples? That sounds like it might be a thing. Okay, nope, that's the way you make a fruit bowl. So when you eat food, it gives you, usually, healing over time. Most sources of healing in this game are healing over time. And it gives you the full effect, so you can't eat more food for a certain number of turns. What else? I guess a cobbler has a crust, right? You probably have to, like... I know that I used to know the recipe for fruit cobbler, although I guess it might not even be the same anymore. But you might have to, like, include a grain. You can sometimes find, like, wheat and stuff. I don't know, that was good enough. Alright, if you're next to a campfire, you can instantly cook recipes you already know. So open up your journal's recipe tab, press keypad enter to instantly make that recipe. Okay. They've streamlined the process of repeatedly making things. That's nice. Alright, I don't think we have anything else to do here in town. Let's get back to it. So this will take us up to the next floor. This will take us up to a bonus floor. There are bonus floors scattered around. Yes, he's in Jelly Grotto. So we might not want to go in there until we have a fruit cobbler, because I'm a little concerned that I might accidentally murder him while fighting. We'll skip this for now. We'll see if we can find a fruit cobbler on this next level. Is there a way to go upstairs without... Oh, travelers arrived in Riverstone Camp for a limited time. Okay. Oh, we should probably put our song up. So crabs paralyze you, which is annoying. You can move around, which you might not expect, given what paralyze means. But you can't attack. It's a disarm. Alright. These songs are pretty powerful, it feels like. Alright, we gotta right up on this electric jelly. Feels like my songs run out very quickly, though. Alright, so we just have to be careful. We have to try not to spend extra time on levels, but it is important to explore every level thoroughly for Flask charges. I guess there's a trade-off to be made, right, between making sure that you find all the Flask charges and making sure you're not using too many extra Flask charges looking for them. How do I want to handle this? I really wish I had more damaging abilities. Can we make that happen? I only have 193 job points. I don't really have any, like, castable stuff. Yeah, alright. Well, that's something that we're going to want to look for in our next class. So I'm going to let him disarm us. Now we'll sing our song. I didn't want to waste song time while we were disarmed. Okay, so we have 3 turns left on the song. Yeah, so every time we hit, we gain 1 turn, it looks like. Alright, Deflecting Filter is a potion we can drink that will increase our defenses. I think our physical defenses, right? Yeah, parry chance. And obviously there's, as you might expect, there's potions of magic damage type resists and stuff. Trying to make sure. I was trying to figure out if there was a way to line these guys up so I'd be able to hit the spider and the frogs with a slash. We may as well charge him. If we're gonna spend a turn walking over there and then get hit, we may as well get a buff out of it. See, if you played a lot of Super Nintendo games, especially a lot of Super Nintendo era RPGs, you are probably having some nostalgia right now. The music, I think, in particular, is very, very like SNES era Final Fantasy. The lead designer is actually the composer as well. He's the guy from the OC Remix community. And I really love the music in this game. So we're up to 253. This seems actually quite useful. So this costs 15 stamina, and just as long as my current song is running, will sometimes inflict status effects on nearby enemies. That seems worth a slot. What's this guy's deal? He has phasing, so he's gonna dodge us and stuff a lot more. Not a big deal. Ooh, magic sword. Magic big sword. What is the meaning of confident? Plus 20% damage if you're over 75% health. It also just has a higher base weapon power than our current sword. Alright. There we go. I'm getting the hang of it. Ooh, the challenge chest. Okay. So the Pandora's box gives you a bunch of XP, JP, and gold, but all monsters in Tangledeep become a little harder, especially the ones on this floor. This is different. It used to just affect the monsters on your current floor, I believe. But that's really interesting. So the more Pandora's chests you take, the more you're making the whole game kind of challenge mode. That's actually really neat. There's a lot of good stuff going on in this game. Man, when you don't have a song up, that charge is not very long range. Okay, we got some Aracudas to deal with. Our charge isn't even off cooldown yet. So I guess I don't really want to weave this in unless I think I'm going to be fighting a lot over the next few turns. Or I suppose if my stamina's at full, I should just do it. Okay, so we caught him with the sealed, which I think means he can't use abilities. It's not really a big concern. Alright, this has worked out really well when they all come after us like this. Makes the songs a lot better. Okay, so we're bleeding. We have bandages. Removes bleeding and heals you as long as it removed a bleed. Bandages are an item that I like to use whenever I can get away with it, because they're a source of healing that you can't always actually make use of. And like I said, with healing being finite, we really got to take it where we can get it. I don't know, we don't need to fight that guy. So you don't always want to fight everything, you know? Oh hey, a bag of grain, excellent. Start our song, charge over here. Alright, I probably ought to Flask. I'm going to be cutting it a little too close, a lot, because I'm very worried about running out of healing. It's a serious concern for later in the game. Guess let's start our song, we'll hit him once, then while we're paralyzed, we'll start our verse of suppression. Then we'll just walk away from him until our ability to attack comes back. And this is basically the thing that the game is. We're gonna probably try to play this at least until we get an actual completion. I played it quite a bit when I got early access, but I've not seen the ending, because the ending wasn't in the early access build. So I'm very, very curious to see what it is. Alright, this is the only stair up. We did not find a fruit cobbler, but we did find a thing that I might be able to make a fruit cobbler out of. So why don't we head back to town? Oh hey, it's some guy. Greetings, I'm the legendary artist Talrose. Perhaps you've heard of me. I'm presently in need of someone capable to escort me somewhere. My creative spirit calls to me and I must answer. I'm sure you understand. Have no fear. Despite my appearance, I will pay handsomely for your services. I was just thinking that it looks like this guy doesn't have a lot of money. Yeah, what's up? Meet me at Casino 2F. It's not so hard to find. Somewhere around the casino, I believe. I'll bring my painting supplies and we'll be on our merry way. Okay, an escort quest of some kind. Sure. Alright, so let's try grain and apple? Nope, that's the garbage food. It might have been grain and 2 fruits? I don't know. So whenever you make a recipe and it isn't a thing, you get the Tangledeep curry. It's gross and it's not really very good. That said, you know, it's still healing. Go ahead and take our cheap heal since we're here, and we'll probably be leveled up before we get back. What do you got, Nando? He does not have enough fruit or an extra grain, so we're not likely to be able to still get our fruit cobbler cooked. Consecrated Chalice summons a spreading pool of blessed water that restores about 1.5% max health per turn to friendly characters. The pool lasts 6 turns. To friendly characters. There are some classes that get pets. That's interesting. I think probably we ought to take some more throwable items. We haven't had to use them yet, but they are vital when you get into a bad situation. And you can see there are some items that will instantly restore health, and they don't give you the you are too full to eat anymore debuff. I'll probably buy those whenever we find them. You know what? We'll take his bananas too. Alright, we're just buying a lot of stuff. Throwables and food, all of it's important. So we gotta find this casino. And given what we know now about the state of our fruit cobbler, I'm not gonna bother going back to Jellytown. He has instinctive regen. Alright, well the shield's not really our bag. Now, we found a side area. Side areas are marked with the treasure chest icon in the upper left next to the area name. Have extra rewards, challenges, and characters to meet. Yeah, so it's just a little sub-floor between 2 floors. Alright, they usually have a campfire, which is nice. A special campfire, in fact. Who is this guy? Peebus. Do you scratch my back? I really like having my back scratched. It's really nice. I guess so? So, did you want to buy some items? Sure. Okay, a bag of grain. You know what? Maybe we can still make fruit cobbler. What else do we have here? Java beans. You can't just eat them, you can use them for cooking. I'm not sure that I ever found a recipe to use them in, but they're weird and rare, so we'll take them. Yeah, I'll take that. Oh, the Monster Corral. I totally forgot about the Monster Corral. You know, we need to go to the other screen in town. I'll show you guys some weird stuff. Okay. So here at this fire, we can cook something special, which is to say that we can get one of a choice. We get a choice of like 4 unique food items that you can't make normally, and they're very, very powerful. Or we could rest to just refill our bars. We'll do a cook something special. So campfire meat is fantastic. It's powerful. It heals you instantly. You can cook a single ingredient here and get a powerful restorative meal in turn. If you need to restore all your stats, you just rest here instead. Either way, the fire will die out. Yeah, let's go for campfire meat. It is an awfully nice thing to have around, you know, for when you get completely overwhelmed. Alright, let's head up. So we might want to go back down. Yeah, we're gonna try making a fruit cobbler. I think grain fruit might be the recipe. Just wait here a second. If it's not grain fruit, then I'm gonna feel dumb. All right, banana cobbler, go. Nope, fruit bowl. Well, you know, I intentionally didn't remind myself of any things. I wanted to come into this roughly as blind as I could, given that I've already played a bunch. And these are the consequences of those decisions. That decision, I guess. Get out of here, monsters. So you see, these monsters are very easy now. They're giving us far less stuff when we beat them. You really don't want to do unnecessary fighting, especially unnecessary fighting of low-level enemies. We have enough to learn the verse of challenges. The rest of our stuff is actually quite expensive. Wow, 600 job points for Glorious Battler. We do want it, though. I think we're going to get Two-Handed Specialist next. I know it's not very active, but it's just power, man. And it's power that doesn't require me to pay attention to use it. Alright, I think we're going to be singing our current song for a minute here. I was hoping I could just kill him and not have to get out of the lightning. Alright, well, we're far enough from a level that I think probably a Flask charge is a reasonable thing to do. So this goes up to the spiny maze, this goes up to the next floor of the dungeon. Alright. So we don't really have to explore. He's about to charge us, so we may as well get ready to sing. And the enemies here are hitting pretty hard already. So, sub-areas, like the Spiny Maze, are usually worth going to, but man, the Spiny Maze is my least favorite of them. It's just going to be all ranged attackers. Fortunately, the little Spinies really don't do very much damage to us anymore, unfortunately. They have a shield on that makes it so we're constantly taking small amounts of damage just by hitting them. You know, because they're spiny. But we want to clear this area not just for the XP that comes from actually fighting all the monsters, but also because when you clear a sub-area, you get extra rewards. Alright. Starting to get a little concerning. The big Spinies do enough damage to actually be a little scary. Well, I just charged in the wrong direction. It turns out that it doesn't just charge toward the cursor. You have to, like, move the cursor around a little bit to get it to recognize what direction you're pointing in. Man, I almost lost a fight with one of those little guys. This is already going poorly. Alright. The Spiny Maze is definitely, like I said, my least favorite of these little side areas that that occur on each run. There are also some random things. You know, you'll find a variety of different extra areas, but there are some that always appear. And again, everything I'm saying now might not be true anymore, but it's old information. I mean, also, we do, even though we take a lot of damage in the Spiny Maze, it is a net positive in terms of Flask charges. It's not as positive as I would like. These side areas, though, do not have respawning enemies generally. And maybe I should always sing when fighting the larger ones. I'm trying to save the song for times when I think I'll be able to get multiple fights out of it, but the larger ones the large quill can have enough health and deal enough damage that maybe it's worth spending the energy to just get through the fight as quickly as possible. Alright, so you can see our extra turn meter filling up. The game doesn't make a big deal of your extra turns, and you might miss them if you're not paying attention, but it is definitely very helpful. Okay, normal spectacles. We don't really have a lot of use for those, but they'll sell at least. You know, it might be worth, since I don't really have great ranged options, and my charge is not a dash to an enemy. It only goes in straight lines. It might be worth picking up some points of Guile, because you can parry ranged attacks. Just get our parry chance up so that we can approach things more easily. And my health is kind of low, but we're right on the cusp of a level, so I'd like to refill it by leveling up. Alright, we'll get our special reward once we've killed all of the enemies on the map, so I want to make sure that we don't miss anything here. Ow! Using the flask does not cost a turn, by the way, so it's a thing you should just do when you get low on health, but like I said, they're finite, we gotta be careful with them. This area is now free of monsters, we got some bonus JP, and a fancy chest. Alright, let's take a look at this, this new armor. So how thorough have we been? Okay. The completion message, let's go and check out what's in this dead end. The completion message happens, like I said, when you defeat all the enemies, not when you've gotten all the loot. So it's worth looking around after getting it, because there might still be stuff on the ground waiting for you. Let's have a look at that Woodland Jerkin. What's the story with this? 10% chance to dodge skills, 8% physical resistance, 33% chance to root attacking enemies, and 3% dodge. So it has less physical resistance, but it's not as heavy as our current armor, which I like, actually. It doesn't give us any increased chance to find items. I don't really put a lot of value in the root chance either, but it's so much dodge. It's got to be better for our health. The attacks that we'll dodge will more than make up for the small amount of physical resistance we lose. See, I'm like reticent to walk in the water because of how the water used to work. Let's take a couple more levels of strength, and then we might start focusing on Guile. Oh, you've earned a Flask infusion for reaching level 5. So the Flask can restore stamina and energy as well, or it can boost our attack and defense. That's interesting. We're not really spending our resources very quickly. I think I would rather go with a citrus flask. Alright, can we get over to this frog before our song runs out? Yes, we can. Okay. Well, it seems like enemies drop stamina a lot more, and now that water doesn't eat your stamina anymore, I feel like... Ooh. Stamina abilities being based on stamina costs is a little bit less of a detriment than it used to be. Used to be, you know, your energy was pretty reliable, but you would often find yourself out of stamina at times when you really wish that you were not out of stamina. Alright. This guy's a puller. That means he'll grab enemies from nearby and bring them in, which is what just happened here. He pulled this beetle from somewhere over here. Step back out of the slash. He probably has enough health that we will have a hard time killing him quickly, so it might be worth killing the other enemies just to reduce the amount of incoming damage. Also, they do that, which is annoying. Oh, a chilled enemy. I'm not 100% sure which one chilled is. We could use our slash and then just immediately build our song up again. You know, let's hold on to the high-level song, add this verse to it. Okay, that's a problem. So these shatter when you kill them, which means that we may take damage. We should be a little bit careful about that. He's about to charge us. I think maybe flasking up right now is a good idea. So it looks like we don't have the buff for our verse anymore. It wore off, despite the fact that our song hasn't ended. So maybe I'm misunderstanding how these actually work. Also, boy, we sure are taking a lot of damage. It would be a good idea to crescendo. How low is this guy's health? 35? That did not do as much damage as I was hoping. Alright. Let's... Hold on. Let's eat something here. So digging into your bag to interact with your stuff costs a turn. But I want to get a healing buff going. Fighting two champions, I think, is a fine situation to use some flasks and resources. We can get rid of that guy. Now it's just you and me, and I have the song. Okay, we made it through that. And hey, look at that. We're winners. A lucky frost ring. I'm assuming this converts our damage to frost? No, it increases our water damage dealt. So, yeah, these are not so great for us right now, but this is exactly the kind of thing that I'm going to store in the safe, because eventually we'll play a character who's dealing water damage, and we'll be happy to have this. We might also find a weapon that converts our damage to water, which would make this pretty powerful. Okay, yes, you do, in fact, still take significant damage from breaking those. Well, we can just wait it out, too. Ow. Okay. That was a little dangerous. Ah, my song ran out. I was hoping we could maintain it. I am nowhere near a level, but I did level up recently. You know what? Let's go back to town and get our cheap heal. Hail, brave warrior. I've been watching your skills grow with each passing day. It is time to learn the paths to weapon mastery. Come see me and I can teach you. Yeah, I'm still saving job points for my actual job skills, but thanks. Okay. Well, so we have one of our support abilities now. I guess we should go over and see him. I don't actually even remember what the sword-related abilities are. The winding threads of destiny are fraught with peril. Neither the quill nor the spoken word will save you. Just only the blade of the axe, the feathers of the bow, and your own fighting spirit. Yeah, tell me a little bit about sword mastery here. Those 400 job points. Use it to attack up to 4 nearby enemies, increasing your parry chance with each enemy struck. Actually, that sounds extremely good. 400 job points, which we do not have. I mean, how committed to our to swords are we? We like two-handed weapons. We spent a little bit on loving two-handed weapons, but none of our stuff is specifically sword-based. It's just that we have a sword right now. We might want to wait until we find a better weapon and then commit to its weapon type. Cheap heal, please. And you know, I think we're going to call it in a second here. So why don't we go down to the bottom screen of the town and see the things here. Boy, you there. One of my critters escaped during bath time, and I need him back in the corral. Lend me a hand, would you? Attack the beastie until it has 15% health or lower, then bash it with the mallet. Yes, there's this corral down here. Was that frog that was... No, that's just a... That's the frog that we're supposed to save. Stop running away. So this frog is lower level than we are. It's part of the reason it's running. Let's switch to our bare hands. There we go. Alright, mallet. It's not actually a weapon, right? It's a consumable. Okay, we have captured a harmless frog. Yeah, here we go. Here's Jesse. I brought you a monster. Give this monster a name. Oh, apparently I'm not allowed to use spaces. I pressed space and it entered. I was going to name him that frog. Alright, well, now that he's back in the pen, that looks as happy as can be. I'd say he even took a liking to you. You've been exploring in Tangledeep, haven't you? I'll bet you could use a companion. I can take care of myself. That's not correct. I want a companion. I don't have a choice to not say that, but I want one. You know, even the toughest scrappers like yourself can benefit from a well-trained monster by your side. You can buddy up with any monsters in the corral that are at least content, and they'll follow you wherever you go. Okay, so this system is expanded. It used to be that you could put monsters in the corral, and you could, like, feed and groom them, and they'd get happy, and they'd give you items occasionally. Any healing items or skills you use will heal up your pet, but they're not invincible. I recommend some pet insurance in case things get hairy out there. Monsters won't get stronger, though. So we need to periodically find new monsters to capture. Alright, need a couple of captured monsters that feel nice and friendly toward each other, find some rose petals, and so there's a breeding system now too. Alright, there's a lot of stuff going on in this game. Okay, well... This guy's relatively happy. Can we buddy up at this level of happiness? His beauty level is ugly. Okay, yeah. You retrieve your friend That from the corral. Sure, he's our friend because we just bashed him with a mallet. That's how friendship works. Okay, so a target dummy for just testing your stuff out. And then here's something else. So we picked up some seeds last time we were out there. Inventory is all divided into different... Yeah. Some verdant fruit leaf seeds. So when you find seeds, you can come here and plant them. Howdy. Do you like trees? Then you like my magic grove. We can grow some right dang powerful fruits if you just come on by and plant some magic seeds. I'll take good care of them. The farm is renewable and sustainable. It'll live forever, even if you don't. So we plant trees, and then these trees will produce items, and they'll be available to our future characters as well. Tell me more, Frog. It's probably not polite to just call him Frog all the time. First step is to haul back some magic seeds, bring them right over here, and plant them in one of these professional dirt piles I made. This man knows his way around a shovel. Then you leave it to old Langdon to do his froggy farmer magic. You go off and adventure further into Tangledeep. I'll do the hard work of watching the trees grow. Once they've matured, who knows? Maybe they'll drop some fruit. We can get different things from them. Some might even drop valuable leaves. Secret is letting them grow nice and old. Old trees drop more stuff, so you keep pushing along in Tangledeep. If one of your trees looks at you the wrong way, you can chop it down and earn yourself some quick XP and JP. And older trees will give you more when you do that. So you can use the trees as sort of a point bank as well. When you start a new character, have them come down and cut down some old trees and immediately get a couple of levels to work with. If you do that, it ain't going to drop more fruit because it's gone. Because you chopped it down. Their sap is on your hands. Yeah, so let's go ahead and plant the 2 seeds that we have. Apparently we have mighty grainshade seeds as well. I didn't notice when I picked those up. Alright. So our town is growing. It's working for us. There's one final thing here. We just ran right past it. But this is our item world thing. It works a little bit like Disgaea. If you're not familiar, we'll just read this guy's dialogue. I hope you're careful out there, but I suppose to be true, I hope you're curious. Our world is a bubbling soup of mystery. You and I are simply flies doing awkward breaststrokes, drowning in brothy ignorance. But perhaps you can change that. Find things, learn things, know things, and return here with whatever riddles you cannot solve alone. There are secrets out there. Far out there. Okay, you know what? I guess we'll talk about the machine once we can activate it. Alright, you can give your pet commands to change its behavior. Click on its portrait in the lower right. Click on its portrait, and there we go. Yeah, follow me very closely. So he's going to occasionally do that. I don't know that we've seen frogs do it, because I haven't fought a lot of frogs. But they have a sort of a charge ability that does some AoE damage. So he will occasionally pounce enemies, I assume. Anyway, we've been playing for a while now. I could use a little break. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are as intrigued by what Tangledeep has to offer as I am. I'm very curious what kind of cool new stuff is in the release build here. So come back next time. We're going to be fighting our first boss, and we'll see you then.